Welcome back to episode 4 of Life on the Ridge podcast. I am your host, Eric Carter. Welcome, man. I got my brother back. I got John in here.
What's going on, man? Welcome. Episode, what episode we're at?
Episode 4, man. You know,
let's get it, man.
Growing pains. We want to speak on the growing pains of what life offers us. You know, those pains that it comes with growth, and you can't get away. You can't avoid them, no matter what you do in this life. So we just want to kind of speak on the journey of Lakeridge Human Services and our individual paths of addressing mental health within our community where we from, and just kicking it G with y'all, honestly.
Well, first, let's give a special shout out to our sponsor, Lakeridge Human Services. Lakeridge Human Services is a substance use facility that provides housing and substance use counseling. Lakeridge Human Services is starting to broaden out its horizons and providing even more services past just substance use. There's housing, there's food, there's community engagement, and there's much more that we provide. So take the time, look us up at Lakeridge, Lakeridge, humanservices.org. If you know someone in your community or you yourself are in need of any type of services, we are here for the community. Man, how you feel, bro?
I feel great. And
New
just
venue?
you
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know, we had to come. Shout out Podcastic, man. You know,
shout out to the brother Dixon taking care of us, man. If anybody, the previous episodes, I was with Dr. Sabrina. She invited me here, and I walked in this spot, and I didn't even know what was going on, but it was such a legit operation. I'm like, man, who's the mastermind behind this? She said he's gonna take care, reach out, and man, you guys, we got some great content on the way, and
now that you brought that into the forefront, the growing pains of production and growing a podcast, like especially in the era where everything is so digital and out there. I think people don't understand the logistics that go behind production and creating
trial
something
and error,
consistent. Yes,
buying equipment. We were buying equipment. We're reaching out, and then it's just sometimes when you're serious and to a little bit it's about quality. Yeah. We want to bring quality content to you guys, and honestly speaking, to go back into why we wanted to do this, we just got tired of. There's nothing positive, there is positive. I'm not going to say there's nothing positive, but we know the negativity gets more light. You know what I'm saying?
And the thing is, you got to have a different perspective or a level of thinking for people that might not always subscribe to certain things negative, but addressing and understanding yourself cool. Like let's rebuild authenticity again and actually having great content where we can quality conversation
too. And that's the part where a little bit, the helpers of the world and the people that care about stuff. Hey man, you gotta come right. Yeah. You gotta have,
experienced people in the field. We're not just really speaking on this just to say we need a great work. We actually putting in work behind the scenes, actually boots on the ground in the streets for real. So that's the main thing. We want to push that and show that we always ask for a solution. What are people doing? And we are the doers. So and we just want to continue to build the platform to bring, like I say, insightful conversation over mental health and everything that's authentic and real in the streets.
But that's actually by actual counselors.
Yes.
So for me, I got an MSW certified advanced alcohol drug counselor certification, certified clinical supervisor and development certification, certified peer recovery coach. I've been in the helping field for almost since 2016, and Eric, man, the going to working.
I'm originally a production guy. I'm gonna say that. Like I went to school for film, broadcast, cinematic arts, all of these things that you see behind the mic and all the and visual aid. I started there, but John kind of brought some perspective. he likes to think And I also like to think this as well. He say all roads lead to social work.
Man, listen.
And when you really boil it down to whatever you do is going to have to lead to some type of human interaction.
All roads. Let me because I got to let you pop your, man, about your journey from, the beginning with Lake Ridge and whatnot. But when I have the discussion about all roads lead to social work, because it does. And what my problem is, and I always say it, and if you follow me on my TikTok, Johnny Detroit Therapy, follow me on TikTok, man, I'm on there. I talk about social work has a marketing problem. It has a branding problem. It has an image issue. Mm-hmm. When you mention a social worker, you're thinking of a foster care worker. You're thinking about somebody coming in to take some kids. You think about somebody making somebody's life more complicated. And the issue that I have with that is the hood is filled with social workers. Yeah. If you actually think about it, there are so many people that are community minded that honestly, the training of being a social worker is just learning how to talk to people with some sense, bro. Yeah. It's learning systems, is learning how to actually operate with the human emotions and looking at things from a different point of view, not a judgment point of view.
And that was literally my next situation with non-judgmental viewing of somebody. And you see the human in anybody. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the times when you come from the environments we come from, we love to point fingers and call people names that when they in situations you may not understand, and real talk. And that's just the reality, though. Like,
we do more harm than good when it comes down to the art of trying to help people, and that's what social work teaches: the art of helping, how to navigate someone and deal with someone from an objective standpoint to get the job done. And what happens is sometimes care can do too much damage. Mama cares so much that she's not listening, or she's enabling, or she's blocking the progress of growth to happen, because the only time for growth to happen is through challenge.
And you got to be uncomfortable in that. If you're comfortable, you can't grow challenge. If you're comfortable with somebody.
That's what therapy is. It's impossible to make someone, I'm not going to change unless I get a negative reinforcement. Mm-hmm. If I do something bad, every time I do something bad, this is what happens to me. That is honestly what therapists are supposed to be doing. Yes. And we can have a whole other conversation about that, because I got some smoke about that, because I think sometimes we just sit there and talk. You're talking and coddling emotions and not
navigating and help them find their own way.
Man, I'm a little bit even more raw than that. It's just, man, forcing change. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to sit up in here and you paying me whatever funds. I don't care where it's coming from, insurance dollars, whatever. Yeah. And we're not going to be, what's the change? You just came up here crying to me, talking about, man, that's a whole other conversation. But I want to, man, real quick to, man, talk about your, just your journey from the beginning with Lake Ridge. You know what I'm saying? Because to work at Lake Ridge,
no, it's a special operation, man. It's something that I've grown to appreciate, because it helped shape and mold me into who you all see today in a lot of different ways. So originally, I started off as a graphic designer and helping just build pastoral books, and just from flyers, anything they needed that was like to help 16? Support 2016, 2017, around that time. So I was pretty much interning over the summer for real. So right. And this was, like I said, while I was still in school for film or broadcasting. So I never had an initial thought that I was going to be coming in as a social worker to try to do treatment prior to that experience. So after I graduated this, that, and the third in 2018, I was going through a lot of situations as far as personal situations with my family, divorces, and all of these type of things with my parents, and moving so much. I'm in a situation where I'm moving constantly, and John reached out and just offered me assistance and said, you should try this social work thing, man. I think you got a good keen eye observation of yourself for one. And I think this would be a good look for you. Started off as
to get the CPRM. So CPRM
is a certified peer recovery mentor, and pretty much I assist clients based off my lived experience, and I help them just come to grips of whatever their situation is and see them as human and listen to their stories and objectively, like I say, just share my story and my perspective on how to enhance their collective experience.
If I could real quick, and that's why I keep saying all things lead to social work, but honestly speaking, how many people in the hood have been through things that can help guide the youth or guide anybody, any population?
If you from the projects like I'm from, that's 99 percentile.
We've been through things. We have shared experiences, and I'm a believer of paying it forward.
Yes.
You know, I've been through things so I can educate somebody how to navigate it so they can have an easier or a lighter road, or they're more informed. And a certified peer recovery mentor is one of my issues. Well, it's really not just for substance use. It is for mental health. But they talk about mentors. We need mentors. We're all in recovery from something.
Yes.
We've all experienced something, and I just wanted to just hone in on that point where there are so many guys that mean well, that know how to connect to the youth, and I'm big on income and giving someone, if you teach a man how to fish, he can fish on his own. See, I'm not going to fish for you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to keep doing this way. I'm going to do it a couple times, but I ain't going to. And the point where I'm saying that is, if you give a man a certification, you give a man something that he can take on his own and
transform it into where he wants.
So what if just a what if in the hood we did that? For the ex guys in the streets, the guys that are on parole, the guys that want to do something, and here, newsflash, every time they want to do something, the door gets shut in their face.
Yeah, because of the labels that have been put on you. But you give me a certification
that I can use
and pay it back to the community.
All the bad things that I've done as a guide to help this young boy stay out of the streets, or teach him how to get out of the streets. Or some of us counselors, I can't teach a boy how to get out of the streets, but I know a couple guys that's on so that know how. So you keep going. I just wanted. It's important for our people to understand that you can get certifications and monetize it and use your strengths, the things that you've been through.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say, not even to allude to on top of what he was saying, but just to go back, I didn't start off as a peer recovery specialist at all. So I came in as a monitor, and basically surveying the whole lay of the land in the building first before I just jumped into becoming a peer. So I understood the people that I was dealing with. I understand the dynamics of the whole situation before I just stepped foot in it. And it's a difficult task when you know your value, but you still know that you have to learn. It's a humbling experience where you learn from these things. And it's easy to say, I just want to jump in to become a therapist, do all of these things. Oh, I can see this and mimic this, but the social work world is not one of those type of things where you can just jump and just know what you need to know. You have to actually, you have to learn about yourself first. And that's the greatest thing about this thing is it helps me remain humble, like you say, to pay forward the situations like he said that I've been through, and you help rehabilitate other people through those experiences. It's the most grateful experience I can have, honestly.
But the people look like us, or they're from the communities that we're from.
And I understand the dynamics that you're going through because I'm from the project. So
they be talking about some street things, and but
it's some stuff that's still
we just be knowing what to say. And then they look at us like, "Bruh, did you just say that?" I'm like, and then I'm looking like, yeah, damn, did I just say that? And it's just like, but that's an honest cultural response because I know what he's saying.
Yes,
I know what he's dealing with. And one point too, a little bit to hop on what he is saying too. To be in black business, and in business that I'm in, you, especially in the early days, people think owning a business just the money is just flowing in, and I said it in the previous episode, to reach a 7-year mark in business, in the business world, is like a milestone. It's a stamp. That's why when you see businesses say we've been in business for 15 years, 20 years, when they paint that on a sign, because that is a sign of we are tried and we are true. Now, when we talk about black business, to be in black business in your community is a whole nother ball game. And to reach out to individuals and say, hey, not only the way the nature of the field is, you are not going to get those funds that you're thinking you're going to get at first, but work with me, get your certifications, and we're going to get there. You got to educate yourself. You got to have experience. Just in our field, just getting a certification and degree don't mean nothing. That's a registration table. Yeah, you got to have experience. You got to know what to do with it. You know what I'm saying? So because, and just to add on that, you know, we love to say just go by the book. Let's go by the book. And then you get put in situations where a situation that you looking at ain't in the book. It ain't in the book. And you have to learn how to navigate and control that within what you're looking at in that environment. So but I gotta give you credit too is also us black folk, you know, we got a hard time with, you know, okay, there's money involved, I gotta work my way up, and there's some humility involved in that. And I gotta give you, you know, credit to, you know, I can't just invite anybody to work for Lake Ridge. It's such a unique situation that, you know, I'm telling E, hey man, just look, work with me, we gonna get this. But not everybody's gonna be able to have that patience. Not everybody can see that vision of what we're trying to do. And here. I'm not gonna say it like it's been easy just to bite every bullet and be like, you know, I'm hanging on. But one thing that I learned, you got to look at the pros and the cons to every situation. Even though I might not be able to get certain levels of income that I may aspire for right now, how many companies can you go to where you provide a certain level of input that can get initiated on the spot, you know, that provides certain level of value? And in general, just go ahead. I'm gonna be 100 with you though. One thing that this new generation doesn't understand though is to build wealth is a journey. It takes time to get to the financial security, to get to financial. And I think nowadays you got people posting things just because I'm an entrepreneur. Being an entrepreneur is really you ain't nothing but an employee to customers. You really can't clock out. There's no clocking out. Boss, man, I get my tail whooped by my customers 24/7. You don't run nothing. Yeah. They run the show, and then your staff run the show because you got to keep them happy because they got to stay paid. So it's like people get on these, you know, they start posting stuff, and that's another reason why we wanted Life on the Ridge, to talk business. You know, I'm a believer, and I have a saying of that cash is king. And you want to find out, everybody has a conspiracy theory. Everybody got a reason why things, follow the money and they'll give you the answer. It ain't because of something wasn't what, you know, that's a rant on itself. But back to my point being, in black business, it's so complicated. And then it's family. And we're trying to keep things together, and for E to be, you know, to see the vision in things and move forward. Now you got yourself the CADC, which is a certified alcohol drug counselor. Like, bro is a technical and that turns into a whole situation within itself, because you're creating treatment plans for people's lives now based on what they want to do. So that it's a different level of responsibility that I'm grateful for, just because it shows you. But it shows you specifically how you can help rehabilitate these people, and in the right, correct way. Yes. And this is it's a tried and true way. Only piece we're going to do different is we're going to add that cultural piece to it, where I'm from where you from, and I know what I need to say to him to get this point across. Yes. And if I could, you know, to talk about the life of a counselor, you know.
What's the growing pains that you had to deal with on your road to becoming a counselor?
Jesus Christ. First off, man, I've been, a lot of people don't understand, I've been in training since I was a kid. I've been around addicts since I was like...
Did you know you was in training though?
As a recent now. As a recent, definitely. Like going into like probably, honestly speaking, back in 2016 when I was trying to do internships, go to school, be a part of the School of Social Work, I definitely knew that my experience from growing up, you know, in the building, seeing, like, I was seeing dope. I've been around dope and drugs and addicts and all of that since I was like, man, I'm thinking like 9-10 years old. You know, I remember my first image going to Fairfield, opening the door, man, her eyes was so orange. It didn't even make me, because she was just, you know, she's smoking, I'm just gotta say, she's smoking crack. And they doing it all day long, and their eyes, you know, it eats their eyes up. So I just know that I'm just been in training for a long time. And then the journey has been what I've been through in life. You know, I've been in jail. I've been through low emotional moments. I've battled addiction. I battled drinking, battled a lot of certain issues that I think for therapists, you could talk all about all this cool methodologies and theories and ways to get the mind together and all that. If I'm not feeling you and I can't talk to you, I ain't gonna tell you nothing, period.
And that's flat out.
All that don't matter. My grandmama was my barber is my therapist. He don't know no methodology. Yeah. He shuts up and listens.
That's a prerequisite.
You know, and I'm not trying to down. I am a whole therapist. I know all the methodologies and the ways you're supposed to do things, but without connection, without community, we just two guys. I sound good, but he ain't getting nothing out of it.
Yeah.
So I use my life experience, you know, and now I've, you know, bro, the past 4 years, I done got married. I'm at 4 kids now, all together, 3 boys, 1 girl. I'm in the process of, you know, moving, finding another home. You know, if you told me where my life would be, man, 5 years ago, I don't even know I would have believed you. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a believer of, and this is why this therapist lifestyle matters to me. When you take care of the community will take care of you. When you do right by people, people will do right by you. And when I get up and I go to work, that's why I'm kind to those guys. I don't play though. They know I ain't no scrub. Now don't shoot a move on me, because you're gonna get all this. I've been around the block, down the street, all that. You can't shoot a move on me. But my kindness, my care, and I like to think that has carried me into my success. You know, I give that to, you know, I just, spiritually speaking, I pay it forward. And that's why I try to tell certain guys, when you've been through things and you feel like, okay, maybe certain fields aren't for you, but if you get into a field like this and you pay it forward, that's, you know, some of us are chosen just to pay it forward. And then I am a believer, being black, being of this community, I realized through my journey that, and I keep saying it, without the mind, all this stuff that we talking about for Black nation, Black unity, you know, freedom, whatever that we talking about, without our mind, there's nothing is going to move forward. We talk about generational wealth. It takes a mind to manage money.
A stable mind. It takes a
mind to plan money. It takes patience. It takes, no, I'm not going to go and buy all that dumb whatever everybody else is buying. I'm about to pocket this money and put it into something else. Everything leads back to mental health, which is why I also say everything leads back to social work. And the only way for the Black community to move forward, or whatever these goals that we're saying, is us. Yep. Ain't nobody going to save us. So
Who can understand us more than us?
So the journey has just been, it's been a lot of ups and downs, far from perfect. And I'm not gonna get up in here and act like I'm perfect, speak like I'm perfect. But all I know is I can't crash out.
No, that's not an option.
I can't go to jail. I can't do nothing too crazy.
No.
So I gotta sit in it.
Management. I gotta manage how I look and feel. Like now that I think about it, I was in training, I feel like my whole life as well, because the first job I had, what I like to tell people, my mom was an officer for DPD for 25 years, and my first job, I was working at the domestic violence unit, like organizing files, and never did I would ever imagine that it would give me a certain level of perspective that I got today. But when I look back, those are some of the foundational pieces of why I may appear older or have a different mindset, because of some of the craziest things that I've seen people do in these files, for one.
Right. And
just how whacked out a lot of our minds are being in certain situations. And
it's so much.
Yeah, it's so much to unpack from those situations and where I'm from. And it's like, I've always looked at myself as a voice of reason for so many things, just based on how I was raised and the environment of everybody is in a frenzy. Everybody is upset, and we only know how to fight fire with fire. But if everybody is fighting fire with fire, who's gonna be calm enough to come through and manage these things?
And one piece too is, at some point, and then content wise, one thing I learned is, especially dealing with clients, a lot of our clients are suffering from not having a healthy outlook conversation regarding a misfortunate event. Okay. Mm-hmm. So bad things are going to happen. No one can stop that. Mama can't stop it. Pop can't stop it. G-Ma, nobody can stop it. But if there was somebody that's going to have a healthy conversation with you, to break this down, how we can move forward to live with this, that's more, and that goes into that management side. And for us, I truly do believe that the Black community, even though I think healing, I think a duality is occurring at the same time, where you have healing occurring, but also the unraveling of generations of trauma. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And you're talking dating back to, you know how I always do, especially when I run groups, I always go back to like the 50s, the 40s, the 30s. All of this
is a side effect.
Mm-hmm. And these mindsets, these perspectives, these patterns, especially for Black folk. You know, we sit here and we talk about 400 years slavery and all of that. The mental anguish or the mental toll, what that has done to us, just like they say, it's going to take us time. That's why they argue for reparations and all that, because the time that it's taken and the things. So on a mental health side, you don't think there's some stuff that we still got to unravel and heal from? You talking about the white community has been able to move so far forward. Because, and which is true, life insurance, and we can get into all that kind of stuff. The way they harbored money, passed money down, and you're talking about loads of money since the 1800s being transferred from family member to family member. Life insurance has been around for hundreds of years. Like, life insurance is not nothing new. Yeah. And what I'm saying with that is, we can sit here and acknowledge that they were able to move further from us money-wise. Mental health, what are we still dealing with? There's still certain actions that we do that literally stem from, and they even have a coin for it, post-traumatic slave syndrome. Yeah. My difference is I'm not going to wallow in that and allow it to be it's an explanation. You
must rid yourself from the victim, being a victim to everybody and everything. And
but we got to diagnose first.
No, we have to assess and figure out how did we get here. But what's going once on? We understand that, it's our obligation and duty to move forward and create new ways of thinking, create new habitats, keep building, keep creating, because obviously we can look in any other field and see the excellence that we present, whatever we do. It's very prevalent in anything that we do when we put our focus to something. we change any and everything. But that has to continue to be the standard, and you can't look at nobody else or play victim to anybody. It don't matter what demographic.
It's not your fault what happened, but it's your responsibility
to change it. Yep. And
and I live by that. I think that's just a certain code that I go by, that I just think spending more time discussing these things, everybody spend time, everybody knows celebrities and cultural things and all of that, but you can't sit here and break down to me some mental health stuff. Yeah. What led to certain things. And I don't need a secret. That's the thing that people think about mental health. You don't have to tell me the blueprint and deep, dark secrets to show me that you got some emotional intelligence. You know what I'm saying? Or some self-awareness about what's going on with you. And I keep saying it, I don't need you perfect.
Yeah. The secret is there is no secret.
There is no secret.
Tell your story. Your story. It matters, and your voice matters. And your voice matters because it's giving somebody else perspective and insight into your world. And everybody's is different, so the more perspective we have, the more we can move forward.
Exactly.
But if you never share it, you robbing not only yourself but somebody else from the perspective.
But we don't share it. Why? Which goes back to that conversation on dissecting a little bit some of these patterns, which goes back to back then. Mama, don't you go down there and tell them people what you. Hey, don't go down there and tell them people what you got going. We keep things and we brush it under the rug.
Yeah, I mean, we suppress it, and we were, and I was just going through the Rolodex in my mind a few days ago, and I'm like, we do a great job at dressing up shit.
Yep,
we know how to dress it up in the physical. And put some clothes to it. We know how to get
dressed
money.
Up garbage can.
We know how to flash this, but we don't know how to enrich ourselves spiritually consistently to move forward. And it's like all of the external things that we can gain, we our inner verse is shattered. and that's a lot of us deal with that but don't know how to articulate that. That's our job in this community of what we basically, like, if I can use an analogy of basketball, we like the Dennis Rodman. We coming to clean up the dirty work from all of the things that been passed down through several generations. Yeah. And we gotta be the ones who kind of clean it up and sweep it up to let you understand that it's okay. We can clean it up and we can move forward after we clean it up. We can rebuild after cleaning it up. Exactly.
And I just think you see the positive content coming out. You see the things people are starting to speak about it. I think, date back to it, the pandemic happened. Everybody was on their phones and stuff. And I just think it was just a great boom with that relationship talk, all that kind of stuff that's going on. And honestly speaking, some topics on here, there's enough 50-50 conversations going on around here. We don't need... That's the last thing that I need to talk about.
And if you don't know that your situation is your situation and you control it how you see fit for you, and everybody's is going to be different. So you can't judge nobody else's situation if that's what they like.
What I will say about that
work what works with you.
But let me say this as a therapist, why that conversation is horrible to me, because when it comes down to relationships, that's such an intimate, vulnerable thing between two people that is private. People get to telling me it's the man, it's the woman. No, I'm a therapist. It's both y'all. Yeah. Y'all both play a part. Y'all both do certain things that lead. Yeah, we could point to one thing, but my point to that is just like, I'm tired of the content that's being used to divide. And if you don't think there's a motive behind that, keeping people, the number one way for wealth is family. Having two households in the house. Mm-hmm. So if I know that's a wealth builder, two incomes where then they can afford major homes and finance certain things in their families, and then kids are in a better situation when they're under a two-parent households. If I am an architect of chaos, you don't think that I want information or content, and the first thing we're doing is waking up, and the first thing that's telling me is my better half is not good for me.
Yeah, we put everybody else in our situation and bring everybody else's opinions in the home.
But that's crazy. But you wake up, the first thing in the algorithm knows what to tell you is my better half, someone that looks just like me. Mm-hmm. Only difference is their gender, that they're out against me. They're this and that. If that isn't by design, I don't know what is. But, I'm just really excited about where the program is going. We got some big stuff happening. We've linked with New Era.
Shout out Zeke and the whole New Era team.
Between linking with Podcastic and Brother Dixon here to take the content to another level, we're talking about a environment, a community of content that is positive, that's real, that has honest conversations. We're going to continue to have great guests that hop on here. We're going to continue to have honest conversations.
And give people their flowers, the people in the city who deserve it, that actually been on the ground level, actually doing the work and really creatively using their influence to better situations, to better situations. I want to emphasize that because we've done enough to, like you say, divide and conquer and try to go against one another. It's like, you don't have to like everything. We don't have to agree with everyone, but everybody's perspective should be respected.
Disagreement is healthy,
no doubt.
And then I to talk about the journey. Lake Ridge first off started. Lake Ridge Village has been in business since 2004. So you're talking over 20 years and because there's confidentiality and HIPAA, all I can really say is uncles, dads, mothers, daughters, sons, community members have been through my doors. And the goal is to restore, repair, and revitalize. And that's what we aim to do. We house them because 1 hour sitting in front of me, I can't know the real you.
Yeah.
I'm going off the representative. Mm-hmm. I've been living with you for the past 4 months, and I done seen the mess that you done
seen. Everything that you done did.
In Lake Ridge, what I love is organized chaos. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be in Candyland downstairs because now I see, look, y'all two arguing because you got this. It's just so much that comes into play with that. And to remember the days where there was a time where we only had 5 clients, man.
Yeah.
There was a time where, business is difficult, and I'm in the healthcare business. They talk about presidents and all that. Any president don't matter, man. I done survived. We've been through Obama, we've been through Biden, and we've been through Trump twice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And to say that is to be in business. They change things, standards. You got to keep up with it. You gotta pay your dues. You got to be organized. And a lot of long nights. A lot of bickering and arguing. We're family owned. Dad getting on me. Man, it's your fault. Man, it's you. No, it's mine.
But that's the village aspect that we it's like a village, and all of the situations that we come like that. All of the situations that we ensue, we love to put ourselves on islands, and we want to experience everything on our own and go through all of these hardships, but the village is what sustains the good, the bad, the indifferent.
And that's why, to be honest, I go so hard for Lake Ridge because, first off, it keeps me grounded. Keeps me alive.
Likewise.
It keeps me... I'm not going to sit up in here and preach to a whole bunch of people about what you're supposed to do. Now, I can do that, but I'm going to share. I got some flaws now, y'all. I'm far from perfect, and I don't want to be perfect. All I know is I'm tired of seeing young brothers going to prison for a 5-second, split-second decision. Him crying to me in the jail saying, man, I wish I never did that. Lake Ridge Human Services is also in Wayne County. We're in the Wayne County jail. We have 2 counselors that arrive in there and they run groups in there all day. And with the hopes of them they actually have to go through the groups to be let out of the jail.
To get
out of jail. So, to see where this thing has started from, to be at an apartment and 5 to 10 clients. I remember the church used to be in the hallway, man. It was in the hallway. My dad did it in the hallway. And to grow up and see there are 100 people across 2 facilities and 8 houses in Lake Ridge now. 100 people. And how you go and how you achieve that is treating people right, doing the work, doing the right thing. And I am so proud of the things that Lake Ridge has done. I'm so proud of the growth. And also, you know what I'm saying? I'm just going to be one. It's about time they let a real one at the table, because we going to do right. You know what I mean? We from this community. We've been through things. We know exactly. Some of these clients are in the streets. They get to saying something, and then we get to file, and they be like, dang, how you? Yeah, just keep going. Tell me what's going on. I ain't going to tell nobody. But, you know, it's real treatment. It's real help. You know, and the issues that our community, especially if we talking about Detroit, we in the city. I'm on Finkel and I'm on Puritan. Yeah. Finkel and Coyle.
And if you from the city or know anything about the city dynamics, you know them some tough streets.
You know, and they protect us too. You know, and that's the funny thing. Come on, go on over to Finkel and Coyle and act the fool at the church and see who gonna pop out, because we giving out food, we giving out help, man. There's certain times they come, we give them hot meals. You know, and I'm a believer of to help the community is not an indictment to the helper to be not have the ability to take care of himself. He should be able to financially be well off, but also well off to the point where just comfort.
Yeah.
I don't need a Rolls Royce. I don't need no flexing in front of these guys. But I say that to say this. When you help people and you do it right, you get blessed by that. And when your heart is in the right place, it's the law of attraction. Yeah. But if it's not in the right place and people see through that, and you don't get 20 years on Puritan, and then now we've been on Finkel since 2020, so we're on our 5th year now. Yeah. You don't get those areas, and those areas support you without being genuine and real. So I'm just really proud of the company, and a black company, you know, and I start off by saying I'm a company. I don't need to say, well, we're black owned and operated. That's after the fact. Yeah. I want to be a company that operates so well. I don't need to flex my race about it. I don't need to tell the world what I am. They're going to find out on their own. Because
it's not a new concept with us being in business, for one.
Exactly.
It's like we've been doing business.
I don't need to say that to get more support. Yeah. I get more support because I do a good job.
Because the work that's being done.
I do a good job because that building is nice. I do a good job. They come to me because they get treated right.
And another aside from that too, from my vantage point of me looking in, shout out to it being a family operated situation where it's like you get to see the hierarchy of family in business and controlling the narrative in community.
And it was like that back in the day, though.
Yeah, so that's that's what I've said that to say this is the original way. You know what I'm saying? So continuing to see that and work under that and gain mentorship from that and relationships because of that. I'm grateful because of that, because who wouldn't strive from our community? Who wouldn't strive to have your sons, your daughters, your wife, and y'all all control a certain dynamic of situation, whether it's a cleaners, whether it's a mental health facility, whether it's a gas station, no matter the industry.
Everybody plays a part.
Who won't want their family to be in a situation that's like that? We want all of our families to play a part in that type of situation to help the community and uplift the community. So
everybody plays
that's the goal.
Man, I'm really excited, man. This is first episode at the new venue.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying, man? Once again, we're going to give a special shout out to Brother Dixon with Podcastic, where they help you with all your podcast needs.
And I also want to give a shout out to Sack the Stigma, another collective that I represent, which is a mental health organization that focuses on athletes' mental health, collegiate athletes, professional athletes. We verbally, not verbally, but we share videos and different ideologies of how to continue to sustain the mental health of athletes. So shout out to the collective of Sack the Stigma. I just want to, for everybody that don't know, the 988 is a representation of the suicide hotline. So I'm walking and being an advocate for those who have dealt with that those type of situations and continue to deal with those type of situations. So I just wanted to give a shout out to that.
Oh man, special shout out. Man, we like to thank you guys for tuning in to this episode, Growing Pains. Make sure you like, subscribe, and keep following because we got some more great content coming your guys' way.
Peace.
Into